You've caught me having a sip of water before the live stream starts. Water is so good. Hey, we'll be starting in 35 seconds. This lesson will be about celebrations. I hope you're ready for an English lesson. I hope you have been practicing your English all week. And I hope you're ready to learn a lot of things about celebrations. I'll explain a bit more in a second once we get started in 15 seconds. Let me just check to make sure everything's working. Everything sounds good. We can start in about 6, 5, 4. What button do I click? I've forgotten 2, 1. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about celebrations. Life has moments where we like to celebrate things. Sometimes there's a special day just for you. Sometimes you go to a celebration for someone else. A celebration is any time we have a party. Sometimes we give gifts to kind of mark a special occasion in someone's life. And I'll talk about all of the different celebrations that I have created slides for in just a bit in this English lesson. But celebrations are certainly very, very enjoyable and very fun. I certainly enjoyed the celebration I had last spring when I got to 1 million subscribers. I did a celebration live stream. Celebratory? Yes, I had a celebration live stream during that event. But celebrations are just fun. You look forward to celebrations. You remember them fondly as well. They are just moments in your life where you are happy about an accomplishment or an achievement. So welcome once again to this English lesson about celebrations. Hey, before we get started, I want to first of all say hi to Dave the Canadian. You'll have noticed that Todd has been absent. Todd's very busy with school, and I'm not sure if I just need to find a replacement for Todd. We'll see. I'm going to be talking to Todd this weekend, so I'll have some more insight into how he's doing. But anyways, thanks, Dave, for being here to moderate. Remember, if you are wondering about something and want to ask a question, you can do that by using the form that will be linked in the chat, and that will put the question in a nice form in an orderly fashion, and I'll try to answer those. But do use the chat once again for fun English conversations. It's enjoyable for you maybe to listen to me talk about the topic, but it can also be enjoyable to have little chats in English with other people. So welcome to all of you. I think we should probably get this lesson started. Is there something I forgot to mention? Possibly. I'm a little tired this morning. Market yesterday was very cold. As Eugene mentioned earlier, it's very cold in Ontario, Canada right now. It went down to 2 or 3 degrees last night. So last night we were selling flowers at market. It was a little chilly. And I think I'm still feeling the effects. But anyways, yesterday I went for a walk wearing shorts. Today I went for a walk wearing my warm-up pants and a sweatshirt because it was way colder. Enough about me though. Let's get this lesson started. Let me just make sure the camera is in order. Here we go. So today is Friday, and it's actually a small celebration for a lot of people. Most people work from Monday to Friday, and then they have the weekends off. I don't work on Saturday and Sunday. So Friday is a little day in the week, a day where you can have a little celebration. Oftentimes at work, people will say, "It's Friday," and then they'll smile. We all love our jobs, or most of us do, but it is fun to feel the accomplishment of almost being done the week. Friday always feels like a day to celebrate a little bit. A small celebration because the week is almost over and it's almost time to relax or just do something else for a couple of days. So what's the first thing I would celebrate? Today, I think I'm celebrating the fact that it's finally Friday. It says in the slide, it's Friday. People sometimes also celebrate when they have a day off. This is definitely something to celebrate as well. I actually have a day off coming up because Canadian Thanksgiving is in a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks about. And so I will have a day off. And so I will celebrate that. Not only will it be a Friday the weekend before, but it will be a holiday on the Monday as well. So I will certainly be happy and celebrate. I thought this couple was very cute. They're just sitting and chatting and having a cup of tea or coffee. I can see Jen and I doing something like that on my day off, just sitting for a bit and chatting and enjoying the fact that I don't have to go to work that day. So a day off is certainly something to celebrate. And people usually celebrate a holiday. My sister just went on a vacation. She was on holidays a few weeks ago, and she was quite excited. And the last day that she worked, she was celebrating the fact that she was going on a holiday. So she was pretty, I was going to say she was pretty pumped. I don't know if you've heard that word before. In English, when you say someone is pumped to do something, it means they're very excited about it. So a little bit of slang just slipped out there. She was very pumped, and I think they had a very enjoyable time when they had a holiday. Certainly something to celebrate. But let's get into some more traditional celebrations. And one of the first ones that comes to mind is something called a milestone. A milestone is a time in life when you have accomplished something that's very, very awesome. That's something that people respect. One of them might be having a number of years of service working somewhere. Maybe you've worked somewhere for 5 years or 10 years or 15 years or 20. We would say that that's a milestone every time you hit one of those marker points. I have taught for almost 25 years. When I have taught for 25 years, that will be a cool milestone in my life, and I will celebrate that milestone. It will be something that I think about and something that I am happy about. I don't think there will be a party. When you have a milestone, you don't usually celebrate with a party, but certainly milestones for me as well would be when I passed my B1 French test. That was a milestone. And when I passed my B2 French test, that was a milestone as well. So something to celebrate. Definitely the most traditional celebration would be a birthday. When it is your birthday, you are celebrating the day you were born. Usually in Canada, you'll have a birthday cake and it will have the same number of candles as your age. For me, in my early 50s, I don't put that many candles on. Sometimes we put one candle for every 10 years and then a few extra for the little years after that. But certainly when it is your birthday, it is a celebration, and probably the most common type. You have a party usually, or you at least invite some people over. I didn't have a party for my birthday this year. My sister and I were born in the same month, my older sister and I, and we usually have a party together. And this year we just decided not to. Usually we have a small party, but I wasn't in the party mood this year, but I did turn 51. I'm getting old. Something else to celebrate would be an engagement. An engagement is when someone asks someone else to marry them. Usually they get down on one knee and they usually have a ring. They have an engagement ring, and they usually will go on a date, and then the person will propose to the other person. And the celebration is just with the couple, but after, if the girl says yes, afterwards they will tell everyone else and everyone will celebrate with them. You might have a small engagement party, but usually it's just a lot of people saying congratulations. Whenever someone is celebrating the fact that they are now engaged, people will usually say congratulations to them. And by the way, when you're engaged, it means you're planning to get married either in a few months or in a year or sometimes 2 years. But usually in Canada, if someone gets engaged, they usually get married the next summer, or within a year or two is about the normal amount of time. The bride might have a bridal shower. So shower is another name for a type of party. A bridal shower is when the bride, before her wedding, will go and all kinds of other women will come and give her gifts. So a bridal shower is a cool event for the bride, a cool celebration. Everyone is celebrating the fact that she is getting married. And one of the things they do is they have a party called a shower and they give her gifts. And then, of course, the actual day is a huge celebration. When you have your wedding, it's a day when you go and you get married. Sometimes it's hard to know the difference between the word marriage and wedding, but wedding is the word we use for the celebration, the day when you actually get married, when you promise to spend your life with the other person. You invite a lot of guests, family, and friends. And on your wedding day, you exchange vows, you exchange rings, and you are then married. Your marriage begins on your wedding day. That would be a good way to remember it. But certainly a huge celebration. Any wedding I have been to has been a huge celebration for sure. And then every year after your wedding, you get to celebrate your anniversary. So Jen and I have been married for over 20 years, so we can celebrate our anniversary every year and keep counting the years. It has been a very, very enjoyable marriage. I hope Jen's watching. It has been awesome. But an anniversary is just a day to celebrate and remember. Sometimes you look at pictures from your wedding day. Sometimes Jen and I will go out on a date. Even though we're already married, we can still go out on a date. We'll go out to eat and we'll just enjoy each other's company for the day. So an anniversary, in other languages, sometimes versions of anniversary are used to mean birthday. But in English, an anniversary is referring to the day you got married, celebrating that every year. C'est pas comme anniversaire en français. Graduation. So in Canada, students graduate from grade 8, they graduate from grade 12, and then they graduate from college or university after 2 or 4 years or even more. A graduation is a celebration of the fact that you have finished part of your schooling. When you are 13 years old in Canada, 12 or 13, you have a graduation from grade 8. You have been in school for 9 years, from kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, all the way up to grade 8. By the way, if you are in America, you would call it the 8th grade. In Canada, we call it grade 8. We're a little bit different. And then students will go to high school and then they'll graduate from grade 12. They'll have a graduation, a celebration, recognizing the fact that they have finished 4 years of high school. So lots of fun celebrations when you're a kid as well. Hey, let's look at some questions. Let me just do an audio check for a sec as well. I think everything's working well. No one has alerted me otherwise. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job considering I was up late. It was freezing cold last night. And then I was up early again. But anyways, let's not start talking about me again. Let's get to the lesson. Let's see. This is from Yaroslav. Morning, the wisest teacher, Bob. How are things? Good. How do you usually celebrate the end of the flower season? Take care. We celebrate by doing nothing for a whole weekend. And usually flower season sort of ends just before Canadian Thanksgiving. So we have a weekend where we just kind of sit around and enjoy doing nothing. Sometimes we'll take the kids out to eat to celebrate. And then certainly on the Monday, we kind of sit around for most of the day and then we start to slowly clean up the farm. There's a lot of cleanup to do once we're done selling the flowers. Renata says, good morning, dear Bob. How are you today, sir? I'm good. Thanks for asking. What was the best celebration you've ever had in your entire life, other than the birth of your children, of course? So I really enjoyed our wedding reception. I'll talk about receptions in a little bit. The day we got married was beautiful. And then that evening, you rent a really big hall, like a big building. And we had all our family and friends, and you have a wedding reception. It's kind of like the party after the formal part of the ceremony. That's probably one of my favorite celebrations. Next question from Stas. Good morning, Bob. I hope you are doing great. My question today is, what do you like to celebrate more, Christmas or New Year's? Thanks in advance. Have a good day. I love New Year's Eve. That is a lot of fun. We get together with family and we stay up, of course, till midnight. And the kids love yelling Happy New Year when the clock turns to midnight. So I certainly like New Year's. I like Christmas too, but New Year's is super fun. Next question from Kurdish. Hi, Uncle Bob. What should I say about your wedding anniversary? Sending you love and positive thoughts. Well, Jen and I got married in the winter, and our wedding anniversary is approaching in a few months. And what most people will do on that day is they'll send us a card in the mail set that says happy anniversary. And they will say happy anniversary if they see us. They'll say, oh, happy anniversary. How many years has it been? Congratulations. That's what we would do on our anniversary. I like Vitor's comment. I like a wedding because I can eat for free. Haha. Yes, I like that too. Although it is traditional to buy a very, very nice gift. So in some ways, it does cost you some money to go to a wedding. Andrew says, do you celebrate name days in Canada? No, we do not. I don't even know what a name day is. I'm looking it up. Name day is celebrating a day of the year that is associated with one's baptismal name. Oh, I did not know that. No, we do not celebrate those in Canada. Sounds cool though. If it gets me an extra celebration, maybe I should look into it. Let's see here. This is from Gergo. Hello, Bob. This is not a question, but I think the first photo of this video is very bad for the environment, the balloons. Yes, in fact, I hope those balloons don't get released. I hope they get recycled. Jen and I sometimes find balloons on our farm, and it can be frustrating because people let balloons go. And we've also found weather balloons as well, which is interesting. That's a much bigger balloon. But anyways, Mode in the chat says, Bob, you haven't had a sip yet. I will take one now. I had a sip right at the beginning. You guys caught me having a little sip of water. Oh, that tasted good. But yes, I hope balloons all get recycled. Lolly lolly en français, Mardi Gras en anglais, Fat Tuesday. Merci, Bob. Yeah, we call it Mardi Gras with a kind of an English accent. So most people don't know that Mardi Gras means Fat Tuesday. In English, we just say, oh, it's Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is coming up in a few weeks. Actually, it's a number of months away, but that's what we use that term, Mardi Gras. Let's see here. Ario says, hello, those balloons remind me of a birthday celebration. What do you usually do on your kid's birthday? Well, it depends on their age. When they were really little, they would invite friends over sometimes. Sometimes they would have a birthday party. Sometimes we would just have my mom and my sisters and brothers over. Like my family would have a little party. Sometimes Jen's parents would come down. It depended year to year. Now, because my kids are getting a bit older, they don't really do anything. We still have a cake with candles and we still give presents, but no parties anymore. But maybe they have parties and just don't tell us. I don't know. Let's see here. From Freddie the Frenchie. Hi, Bob. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Am I right when I use the word celebration for happy events and the other way around, commemoration for sad events? So we have started, I didn't put this in the slides, but sometimes you'll go to a celebration of life after someone dies, after they pass away. So we do use the word celebration in that sense. Sometimes someone will pass away, there will be a funeral, and then afterwards there might be a celebration of life where people get together and there's a slideshow with lots of pictures of that person. But yeah, a commemoration is a little more formal, but not necessarily for a sad event. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one a bit, Freddie. Let's see here. I'm skipping a few questions. Okay, Naomi T says, why do we call bridal shower? What does shower mean? Does it imply shower of blessings? I think you shower the bride with gifts and you shower the bride with good wishes and blessings. Yeah, I think that's why you're showering them with attention as well. When you shower, it means you're giving them lots of something. So let's see. Winter Wright says, hi, Bob. Long time no see. Is there any celebrations for pets in Canada? Not that I know of, although that would be interesting. I'm sure there are some kinds of celebrations, maybe a pet parade, maybe a pet festival, but I have not been to anything like that. Let's see here. Okay, I think we're going to go back to the lesson. If you do have questions, please use the form and I will get to them as soon as possible. But let's keep moving. A retirement party. So when you have a job, eventually you get old and you retire. And many times when you retire, the place where you work will have a retirement party for you. There was a teacher at my school who retired last year and we had a retirement party for him. We were very happy because we were allowed to have a retirement party. There was a teacher 2 years ago that retired, and because of COVID, we couldn't have a retirement party for him. So he came to last year's retirement party for the other teacher, and we kind of celebrated both of them at the same time. But a retirement party is a celebration for someone who is retiring. So you have cake. You do sometimes wear silly hats, and sometimes it does say happy retirement on the wall. But it's just a party where someone who has worked for a very long time is retiring, and you get together to celebrate it. So retirement parties are a lot of fun, by the way. If you have recently moved into a new house or a new apartment, you might have a housewarming party. When you buy a new house or start renting a new house, or when you start renting an apartment, or maybe you've bought a condo, you might have a housewarming party where everyone can celebrate the fact that you have a new place to live. A housewarming party, you usually bring a housewarming gift. Probably the most common one is a plant or something to hang on the wall, like a piece of art. I haven't been to a housewarming party in a long time, but usually there's food and people bring housewarming gifts, but certainly something to celebrate, especially if someone, sometimes in Canada, people will rent an apartment and then eventually they'll buy a house, and then they'll be excited because they own their own house, and they'll have a little housewarming party. Lots of fun. Our kids sometimes went to something called a pool party. This is not a specific celebration, but it is a very common party for kids to go to when they're younger, like between age, I don't know, 6 and 14 or something like that. A pool party is just a party that a kid has. If they happen to have a pool in their backyard, they might have a pool party during the summer. I have driven my kids to a couple of different pool parties as time went by each summer. Usually 2 times a summer, I would take someone to a pool party. Sometimes people will have a birthday party, and in the invitation, it will say, bring your bathing suit because it's also a pool party. So a pool party is just a party where people go swimming in a pool. Nothing super special about it. You might have a celebration event in terms of fundraising. You might have a fundraising sale. You might have a fundraising bake sale. You might go to a fundraising dinner. Jen and I sometimes are invited to fundraising dinners. A fundraising dinner is when an organization that does good in the world needs money, and so they have a celebration and they celebrate the work they've done, and then they ask you for more money. But a simple version of a celebration would be fundraising by selling baked goods, cookies, or other things. So let's talk about receptions. So in English, the word reception has a few different meanings. One meaning of reception means a party, usually a formal party, after a wedding, or even after a graduation, or some other formal celebration. I've been to a reception after a graduation. I've been to many receptions after a wedding. So a reception is simply a more formal party. By formal, I mean people are usually dressed up. Men are usually wearing ties and women are usually wearing dresses. Not always, but that's still a very common way to dress up. And definitely it's after some kind of important celebration, like a wedding or a graduation. Definitely after a wedding in Canada, you will end up going to a reception. And we would just call it a wedding reception. We would add the word wedding to it. I have never been to one of these, but there's a celebration called an after party, apparently. An after party is a party that people go to when the main party is done. You'll hear about this often after some awards shows. Sometimes there are a lot of after parties. So it's a party that takes place after another celebration or after another party, like I just said. It's not that I haven't been invited to after parties. It's just that I don't like staying out late. So if I go to a celebration and someone is having an after party at 1 or 2 in the morning, I go home and I go to bed. But an after party is a party that takes place after a different celebrate or after a celebration or after another party. Some people go to a party and then they go to an after party. Not Bob the Canadian. Bob the Canadian goes home and goes to bed. I have been to block parties or street parties though. So a block party, our cities and towns are usually divided into blocks. So you have city blocks. Every square of the city is a block. And sometimes the city or town will decide to close the street and to have a party. A town near us is celebrating 100 years of being a town, and they are going to close the street and have a street party. When you close a street, it means cars can't drive down that street. They'll put roadblocks at each end, and then everyone can just walk on the street. So they're going to have a street party. People will just go. The street is a beautiful place to have a drink, do some dancing, talk to friends, listen to some music. It will be a really, really fun event. So a block party or street party is when a town or city closes the street so that they can have a party to celebrate some kind of special event. So no one has ever thrown one of these for me. A surprise party is a party that other people plan for you and they don't tell you about it. And then when you walk in, everyone yells surprise. I did go to one. There was a surprise party in my life. When Jen and I were expecting our first kid, when Jen was pregnant, the people from work, a colleague Jen was friends with, invited us to go out to eat with her and her husband. And when we got there, there were like 20 people from my work, and they had a little surprise party for us where they gave us gifts for the new baby. So yes, my mistake. Generally, those surprise parties are for birthdays. And usually it's when someone comes home from work, they open the door and their apartment is dark. And when they turn the light on, there's like 25 people there who all yell surprise, and it is a surprise party. Sounds fun. I should plan one someday for Jen, maybe a surprise party. I have been to costume parties. When I was in university, I went to a couple costume parties. Sometimes little kids will go to a costume party. A costume party is a party where you dress up. They're very common around Halloween. Halloween is at the end of October. It's when kids go trick-or-treating and when kids wear costumes. But even adults sometimes have costume parties where everyone is told to dress up in some way. I imagine these two guys are either waiting for the bus or they're on their way to a costume party. But I have not been to a costume party for probably 25 years or more. Sometimes parents dress up and go to costume parties at Halloween as well. Sometimes their kids will have a costume party and the parents will also dress up. But I have not done anything like that for a while. I'm pretty boring, actually, if I do think about my own life. But maybe this year should be the year where I dress up and go to a costume party. We'll see. This is more my style. In English, when you say something is more your style, it means it's something you like to do. I really enjoy hosting a bonfire or campfire, or going to a bonfire or campfire. I was sad because last weekend, a friend of mine was going to have a bonfire and he invited people over, but I actually couldn't go. I was busy that night. But this is something I really enjoy, either hosting, meaning I have a fire at my house and invite people over, or I like going to, which means if someone else has a bonfire. And the difference between bonfire and campfire, a bonfire is just bigger. I usually have a campfire, like, oh, we're going to have a little campfire. Come on over, bring your lawn chair. It's a very enjoyable time. Some of you in my videos have seen where we have a fire pit, and that's where we usually have our little campfires if we invite people over. Lots of fun, very enjoyable time. A birth. So we talked about birthday, but there's also a time to celebrate when a young couple has a new baby. So you celebrate the birth. It's kind of the kid's first birthday, isn't it? But certainly when a young couple has a new baby, you celebrate the fact that they have given birth, that they have a new child. So a birth is certainly something fun to celebrate. Also a time to give gifts as well. And I just know with the birth of each of our children, Jen's parents would come down and my mom would come down within a day or two to congratulate us and to celebrate the fact that we had a baby. Lots of fun. And before you have a baby, you will often have a baby shower. And sometimes after you have a baby, you'll have a baby shower. And so you'll see again the word shower to mean a party. So we had bridal shower earlier. But yeah, usually a baby shower happens in advance. I know Jen went to a baby shower a couple months ago for a relative, and it was, I think, 4 weeks before the baby was due. When you're expecting, you have a due date, and then usually you'll have a baby shower at some point, usually before, but sometimes after. I mean, it's always fun to celebrate a new baby and to get gifts, right? So lots of fun. Sometimes you have a going away party. Sometimes maybe one of your kids is going off to university. Maybe a neighbor is moving away to another country or province. So you might have a little party to celebrate the fact that they're leaving. It sounds kind of funny. You're not happy that they're leaving, but it is fun to get together and to have a little going away party. Probably the most common type is when if one of your kids is leaving for university, you might have a little going away party, have a nice supper, no gifts really, but just maybe some cake for a going away party. And then of course the opposite would be a welcome home party. Sometimes people come home from far away. Maybe one of your kids is at university. When they come home, you might have a welcome home party. Maybe someone was serving in the military and they were far away. Maybe they were deployed, and when they come back, the family might have a welcome home party to welcome them back. I went to a welcome home party for a teacher who taught in a different country for 2 years. And when they came back, we had a little welcome home party for them. Lots of fun. So yeah, you can have a going away party, and then a year or two later, you can have a welcome home party. Hey, let's do some members only questions. Let me get that set up for a sec. Where is that setting? I think it's right here. Yes, there we go. I think, there we go. Sorry, I know I just forgot to click something, but that's okay. Yep, we're good. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to hit the record button. I like to record these as I'm doing them so that I have a high quality video, but I'll be able to get a copy from YouTube later. So, oh well. Hey, I'm going to put a question on the screen. Let's see here. I'm going to put a question here, and then I'll jump to members only from the chat. So we're doing members only chat for 10 minutes. Don't leave. The lesson will continue in about 9 minutes. Mayuri says, what is the difference, I'm going to add the, between marriage and wedding, and how these words are used aptly in a sentence? Thanks. So generally, wedding is the day that you have where two people promise to spend their life together. We would say that's your wedding. So Jen and I, when we had our wedding, it was a long time ago. A marriage is, like Jen and I, our marriage has lasted over 20 years, and hopefully it lasts a lot longer. Everything's going great, by the way. So a marriage is the life of two people spend together, and a wedding is the day where you decided to spend your life together. But it does get a little confusing, but remember that basic difference and you'll be fine, I think. Mode in the chat says, here's a cake for your 25 years of teaching. Thank you, Mode, very much. I don't know if I'm quite there, or maybe I am. I should double check. When did I start? 1995 or 96, 97? I have to check today. I can't even remember. From the chat, Noriko says, how about pajama party? It's a special time for kids to celebrate their get together. Yes, sometimes kids will have a pajama party, or they'll have what's called a sleepover, which is a party where you sleep at someone's house. John Wedge says, hi, Bob. No question today for now. Just take a sip of water. I notice you're a little hoarse today. So it was windy at market, like really windy. We had to talk louder, and I think it affected my voice. Naomi T is here. Hi, Naomi. Hi, everyone. It's 10 p.m. in Japan. That means it's already Friday night for you. That's cool. I still have to work. CS Team says, hi, everyone. Modag says, hey, member, let's throw a surprise party for Mr. Bob. Woohoo. Yeah, in Toronto. Do it in Toronto, and I'll come. John Wedge says hi to Naomi. Naomi says hi to Moat Eggs and says, I'd like to join that. Oh, yes, excellent. Audie says, good idea. Wanda says, hi, Teacher Bob. How are you? Can we use the term anniversary instead of milestone when you are celebrating years of working in a company? Yes. So you could say, he's celebrating his 25-year work anniversary, or she's celebrating her 30-year work anniversary. Totally, you can use that word. Freddie Wolf says, way to go, Bob. You know your way around educational teaching. For sure, you've a way with your students. By the way, unfortunately, winter is also coming in metropolitan France, especially in the mornings. It was chilly this morning. Like, we were really happy we didn't get frost because it'll kill the flowers. And we might actually get frost tonight. So we might have to do a few things. We cover stuff and put sprinklers on early in the morning to prevent a little bit of damage. Harry says, Bob, when we celebrate something, we sometimes cry because we are feeling so happy. Can you tell me any expressions we can use to describe the feeling happy but crying? Thank you. Yeah, you would say, I laughed so hard I was in tears, or I was so happy I was in tears. Often people who are really happy, if they cry, they'll just say, I'm just happy, to let people know they're not sad. Like, oh, why are you crying? And it's like, oh, I'm just so happy. And then they're crying because they're happy. Naomi T says, hi, John Wedge, 12 hours apart. Oh, you guys are 12 hours, one to the other end of the world. John's coming to the surprise party. It's not a surprise party now because I know about it. Noriko says, can we call a farewell party instead of a going away party, which is more common? Yes, you definitely could say a farewell party, but I think going away party is the most common term in my area. I'm pretty sure that's what I would call it. Yep. He's going to teach in Spain for a year. We're going to have a going away party. Farewell party would work too, though. Stas says, hey, it's interesting how our mind changes through life. I remember being a child and I liked celebrating my birthday more than today. What about you? Yes, definitely. Now it feels like, oh no, I'm 1 year older. But when I was a kid, it was like, I get to have a birthday party. Freddie Wolf, do you make gender reveal parties before the baby's birth? Yes, I have never been to one, but they are becoming more common, gender reveal parties where people reveal the gender of the child before the child is born. So, but yeah, I've never been to one. Someday, I'm sure I will be invited to one. Modag's a little off topic, but I really love this week's Wednesdays with Bob. It was great to see you talk to your camera buddies. Yeah, so members get an extra video every week where I just talk. And this week I had all three of my cameras, and then I cut between scenes. So if you're a member or become a member, you can watch that little video. It was a lot of fun to make, but it took longer to edit than I expected. It was quite a challenge. Let's see here. Question from Tintin. Hey, well, Dave, thanks. Thanks, Dave. I am from Indonesia. Here we have a kind of celebration of a wedding university. We call it Silver Wedding for 25 years. How about in Canada? In Canada, every anniversary, like 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, they all have names. I don't remember them. I think diamond is 50. I think year one is paper. And silver might be 25. I think you're right. But yes, we do use that term as well to talk about anniversaries, like wedding anniversaries. Let's see here. Lelouch says, how do Canadians celebrate holidays? I love the way you explain things. So the vast majority of Canadians, if it is summer, will celebrate a holiday by going to the cottage or going to the beach or going to a park or going on a hike. It's very common for Canadians to celebrate a holiday by getting together, having a meal, and doing it either at one of those places or going to one of those places. In the winter, when we have a holiday, we will most likely go to someone's house and have a meal together. But in the summer, quite often, if I go to a family event or if I go to a celebration, it will be outdoors. Even weddings are quite often outdoors now, where they get a big tent and they have an outdoor wedding. Let's see here. John Wedge says to Stas, after a certain age, it's just downhill. We don't like to remember our birthday. Yes. Noriko says slumber party is the same term of sleepover. Yes. Slumber party and sleepover are the same. A party where kids sleep at someone else's house. Harry 300, what costume do you like to wear on Halloween? We don't have Halloween here. I think last time I dressed up as a cowboy. I think that was the last thing I dressed up as. Ralph says silver is 25 and golden should be 50. That's how we use it. Possibly. I am not an expert on the names we use for different anniversaries at all. So don't listen to me. I know what an anniversary is, but I don't know what the actual names are. Kuhn says, hello teacher. My question is, on what holidays do people give gifts to each other in your country? So not on Thanksgiving. At Christmas, people usually give gifts. No gifts at New Year's Eve, usually. Maybe you'll bring something to a party, like some food or a tray of food. Mother's Day, we usually give gifts. Father's Day, we give gifts. Valentine's Day, we usually give gifts. Those are the big ones. Halloween, no gifts. Kids just go trick-or-treating. Labor Day, no gifts. I'm not going to go through all the holidays, but so those are the ones I mentioned would be the gift-giving holidays. Ralph says, oh wait, Audie says to Dave or someone, can you see my questions? And then Audie says, Bob, can you see my question? If it's in the form, I'm sure I'll get to it eventually. I don't see it in the form though. So it might be missing. I see one coming up from Key Park that I'll get to in a bit. Yeah, so sorry, Audie. If Dave finds it, he'll let me know. So, but I'm going to get back to the lesson, I think, because let me just check for a sec. BB says, will you like to celebrate your silly beginning videos? So I do celebrate every year on January 3rd. I celebrate the fact that I started my YouTube channel. That's my YouTube channel birthday or anniversary. That's what I would say. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's get back to the lesson. Sorry, I'm losing track of what I'm doing here. A family reunion. So family reunions are celebrations that families have where someone will invite all of the brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts and cousins and grandparents all to one place. And they will just celebrate the fact that they're a family. So a family reunion is just a big party with all of the family and extended family. When we use the term extended family in English, when I talk about my family, I talk about Jen, my kids, and my brothers and sisters, and my mom. That's my family. When I talk about my extended family, I mean my uncles and aunts and cousins. That's my extended family. So a family reunion is when you invite your family and your extended family, and you in Canada, it's often at a park or at someone's house with a really big backyard. It's usually in the summer and it's usually outside, and people will barbecue and play outdoor games. Usually a family reunion is lots of fun. Let me get to the next slide in a sec here. I just got to make a small change. There we go. Mother's Day. So I mentioned Mother's Day and Father's Day. Mother's Day is a day where we celebrate all of the work that our moms have done to raise us. Father's Day is similar. We celebrate the fathers in the world. So Mother's Day is usually a day where we will go to either Jen's mom's house or my mom's house. We kind of alternate year to year, and we will have some cake and we will celebrate the fact that it is Mother's Day. Usually we will send a card. We will usually give a gift. Sometimes on Mother's Day, we will give my mom flowers if we have some. It's a little early in the year for us to give flowers. Sometimes we'll buy an outdoor potted plant or something nice for my mom. Father's Day is the same. Because my father passed away, I will sometimes visit the cemetery, and I'll just go and visit the grave site where my father is buried. And we will definitely go to Jen's parents' house and celebrate Father's Day with her dad. So Mother's Day, a day where we celebrate mothers, and Father's Day, a day where we celebrate fathers. And then Teacher's Day. So just a month ago, someone said Happy Teacher's Day to me. Most of you know that I find Teacher's Day to be, since I've started YouTube, it has been a very fun day to celebrate for me because it happens almost every month. Quite regularly, someone will say in the comments of a video, Happy Teacher's Day. It's Teacher's Day here in Bolivia, or Happy Teacher's Day. It's Teacher's Day here in Indonesia. And so there seems to be different days around the world that are considered Teachers' Days. And because I teach everyone around the world, I'm quite often congratulations, Happy Teacher's Day, Bob the Canadian. Thank you for everything you do. So I appreciate that. It's kind of fun to teach people around the world because I get thanked a lot on all of the different Teachers' Days. I think there's another one coming up in October, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see. I don't actually know when the Canadian one is. New Year's Eve, someone mentioned this earlier. New Year's Eve happens on December 31st. When the clock strikes midnight, we all yell Happy New Year's, and we give each other hugs. Generally, though, the New Year's Eve party happens mostly the year before. Does that make sense? Mostly it's December 31st when you're celebrating New Year's Eve. And then you say Happy New Year's, you maybe stay up for another hour. And then if you're old like me, you go to bed. But New Year's Eve is a fun celebration, a day where we celebrate the new year and we look forward to all the new things we're going to do. This is another one where it's different in different parts of the world. Often my international students will be celebrating Chinese New Year a few weeks after our New Year's. So it's fun because they have a nice fun day a bit later than us as well. But New Year's Eve, celebrating the new year, always a fun celebration. We have a lot of different kinds of festivals, especially in the fall. There are a lot of festivals in Ontario, Canada. A festival is any time a town or someplace has a big party celebrating one thing. We have food festivals. A food festival is a place where you can go and there's all different kinds of food to eat. We have a lot of music festivals where you can go for a weekend and you can listen to all different kinds of music. But a festival it's celebrating a specific thing. So it's a festival because people like food. It's a festival because people like music. And so they'll get together and they will celebrate that thing, and you can go and enjoy yourself as well. A parade. So we really like going to a parade every year at Christmas. There are a lot of different kinds of parades in the world. When we go to a parade, it's usually quite cold. It's usually the end of November or beginning of December, and it's a parade about Christmas. In the parade, there will be marching bands. These guys aren't playing instruments. I think the marching band is behind the flag bearers. There's usually different floats. A float is someone in a parade who drives by. So they decorate their vehicle or they pull a trailer that's all decorated. You would call that a float. In Canada, if you go to a Christmas parade, the very last float in the parade usually has Santa Claus on it. You might celebrate a championship. It might be the Super Bowl. It might be the World Cup. It might be the Stanley Cup if you watch hockey. When the team you like wins a championship, it's a time to celebrate. If you live in Toronto and if the Toronto Raptors won the NBA championship again, there would be a parade a week later and people would celebrate the fact that the team won the championship. I'm sure if you live close to a city where a football or soccer or baseball or hockey team has won the championship, there is a large celebration about a week afterwards. Hey, we mentioned Valentine's Day earlier. Valentine's Day is a day for couples where they buy each other gifts. the most common gifts on Valentine's Day would be red roses, chocolate, jewelry. Those would be very, very common. It's a day to celebrate love. So it's a day where you'll probably go on a date if you're in a relationship, and you will just celebrate the fact that you enjoy each other's company so much that you want to celebrate it. Fun day. And then lastly, there is usually a celebration for your country at some point. In Canada, it's called Canada Day. It's on July 1st. Every year on July 1st, we celebrate the fact that Canada is a country. Usually there's fireworks. I actually posted a photo this year because Jen and I and the kids, we went to see live music and we saw fireworks after the concert. So on Canada Day, we celebrate the fact that Canada became a country. It's kind of like Canada's birthday. And I'm sure in every country in the world, there is a day where you celebrate your country. And that would be probably similar to what I experienced. There's probably fireworks in every town, and everyone is really happy to celebrate the fact that your country is a country. Well, hey, that is the lesson on celebrations. By the way, I forgot to mention earlier, this was a repeat of a lesson from 3 years ago, but I added almost twice as many slides. I thought of more things to celebrate. So I think there were 20, and then today there were 35. So I added about 15 more. So anyways, thank you for watching this. Lolly maybe remembered it as someone who has watched most of my live streams, but for most of you, I think it was new. A couple of things before you go. During this lesson, I use the phrase a lot, to enjoy each other's company. I'm going to be putting a lesson out on Tuesday about talking about good and bad relationships, how to describe them. And that's one of the terms. When you say that you enjoy each other's company, it means you like being with someone. So watch that video on Tuesday. Promise me you'll watch it. Watch the whole thing because that is just a good thing to do. It helps you and it helps me, by the way. This video will be edited. It'll be about 24 minutes long, and it will be released in 2 days with English subtitles. If there were parts of this lesson you didn't quite understand, watch that new edited version with the English subtitles on. That might help you. And for all of you, it's just a good idea to rewatch these lessons. I know it makes it sound like I want you to watch my videos, but it's good for you and it's good for me. It's a win-win, we would say in English. If you watch the video again, it helps me because if you watch the ads, I get a little bit of money. But it also helps you. Repetition is just awesome when it comes to learning a language. So watch it twice or 3 times and do this with other English YouTubers as well. When I watch a French YouTube video, I watch it twice, usually once on one day and once the next day. Sometimes the second time I watch it, I'll just have it in the background, but it really helps me to learn stuff. So anyways, is there anything else I should say? Thanks to Dave. I want to say that. I'm going to put my reading glasses on so I can see the chat. I want to say bye to, let's see here. I'll start at the top. Audie, Nightbot, Mode Eggs, Naomi, Natsukashi, Harry300, Yuri, Lolly, Noriko, Pompey. Thanks, Dave, for moderating. Vitor, Eugene from Etobicoke. Good to see you, Eugene. Let's see. Anuwat, Jocelyn, Al Gore, Wanda, Key Park. I don't think I got to Key Park's lesson. Why am I saying bye? Shouldn't I be answering the questions? Oh my, did I mess up? I got some questions left. Let me do the questions quick. Sorry. I think I was anxious to wrap this up and I forgot to do the questions. I'm not saying bye anymore. I'm doing questions. We'll see how this goes. DL Photo says, hey Bob, how's everything? How often do you celebrate your wins in a week? Every time I have a win in life, I celebrate it. And do you think an award is better than a punishment? Yes, I think rewarding people is always better. Everyone's saying bye in the chat, but now I'm going to keep going for 5 minutes. Let's see here. Tennessee says, hi Bob, in your opinion, what are some things in life worth celebrating? Stay hydrated. Health is the most important thing to celebrate. Take care of yourself, exercise, eat well, and celebrate the fact that you are healthy if you can do that. Let's see here. I'm almost done, by the way. Key Park says, hello, Bob. How do you plan to celebrate your silver wedding anniversary? Give Jen a surprise party? No, we'll probably go on a trip. To me, that would be the most fun. Last question. Hi, Bob. No question today, but today I'm very happy. I'm going on a school outbound on Wednesday, a school trip. Maybe we celebrate because students get tired after a 2-week exam. Yeah, I celebrate whenever the school year is done. That's for sure. So, hey, anyways, sorry I said bye to everyone before finishing the questions. I think my brain is just not working the way it's supposed to today. That's fine. Anyways, I wanted to say something else, something funny. Thanks to all of you from Italy. I bought a new tripod a week ago from Manfrotto, and it's made in Italy. It is amazingly well built. It is high quality. It is a high quality tripod. So thank you to your whole country for making that tripod. And thank you, of course, again, to every country that produces bananas, because I eat one every day. Anyways, enough silliness. Thanks for watching. Do watch Tuesday's new video. Do watch this video again in a couple of days. If you come back next Friday, I was going to say the topic and I can't remember it. I should wrap this lesson up and maybe have a cup of tea and relax for a bit before I go to work. Anyways, happy Friday. I hope you have fun celebrating it. Have a great weekend and keep learning English. You're awesome.